What's going on, guys? It is the Red and Biggie podcast. I am Red.
And I'm Biggie.
And you think you know us. Do you really think you do? Because this week we're diving into the deepest corners of our gaming brains and sharing our most controversial takes in the gaming world. Get ready to disagree because we are not holding back.
I'm a man. Now I can see your handsome face. Looks like shit, but that's alright.
You look beautiful, baby boy.
I think it's bigger than PlayStation. I think it's bigger than Xbox stuff.
Cracking the clothes right now. We look pretty.
I cut it down and like cut a little bit out so that way you don't see it was a 40-round clip. Just kind of cut. Star Wars. Speaking of which, may the force be with you, buddy.
Fuck, I already fucked it up, dude. Red and Biggie podcast.
Okay.
It's bigger. We're just gonna hop right into it today. First though, Biggie, I think we need to start with the trending topic in the gaming world today. Yes. What do we got?
Dude, we have the Steam Summer Sale. It's probably the biggest sale of the year, honestly. And just in terms of across the board, like I think it's bigger than PlayStation. I think it's bigger than Xbox stuff.
It would have to
definitely
be, right?
bigger. It's definitely bigger than Nintendo shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's bigger, dude. Dude, don't even get me started on Nintendo, dog.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? Fuck it. No, what makes red for this episode is fucking Nintendo, dude. Their sales are bullshit, dude. Mm-hmm. All right, we have a Nintendo Switch. I've never been a big Nintendo guy. When I was a kid, played Pokemon. That was about it. They make the barrier to entry into their freaking system just insanely stupid, man. I'm somebody that would love to try Nintendo games, but they never put them on sale. And when they do, it's first off a shitty sale, okay? And then second, it's like never on the games that are any good that might get people to come over. It's only on the stuff that's already on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, all that. Like Zelda. I saw the first Zelda, and you would probably know the name of it better than me.
Breath of the Wild.
One of the two for the Switch. It was on sale for like $50, dude. That game's been out forever, you know?
Yeah.
Pokemon's not on sale. The Mario game I saw was from like 2016. I think it was like Odyssey or 2017. Like the Nintendo.
Probably Odyssey, yeah.
They don't have to because they have the freaking like following for it. But like dude, make the barrier to entry for your freaking stuff more obtainable, and you guys could probably take out PlayStation and Microsoft.
Right.
I really feel like they could, dude. Anyways, back to the trending online topic, dude. I'm sorry, I had to. You got me going on freaking Nintendo, man.
I get it. Yeah, Steam Summer Sale, man. It's probably the time of the year to be buying something if you wanted to buy it.
That is true. I saw some big names on there too.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the ones that I saw that were really good. You know, 7 Days to Die, which is a great zombie game, great co-op game if you got friends to play it with you. If you're looking for something that's a little more story oriented, they had Outer Wilds. That was. Then you also got Hollow Knight, which supposedly we're gonna get Hollow Knight Silk Song later this year, so that's cool.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize.
Oh my god.
And then of the newer releases of the year, Oblivion was on sale. You know what I mean? Like
really? Well, it should be because that game's a million years old, and even if it's a remaster.
Yeah. But still, I mean, the fact that it came out this year and it's already on sale, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take a hint, Nintendo. But
that's what it's like. Dude, I get it. I get it, man.
Yeah.
I want to try their stuff so bad, dude. But they make it impossible for like somebody that's like unsure of it, you know?
100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you want to borrow Breath of the Wild, I have a physical copy of it.
You know what? I might take you up on that, dude, because I want to try the stuff, but I'm not spending $50, especially on like a whole system franchise I don't even know if I like.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, but as far as the summer sale goes, dude, I did see some pretty cool games too. I actually bought 3 this go around. I won't get any more, I don't think, because some of them are actually on the Game Pass I saw, so I'll be using the Game Pass for that. But actually, last night we're recording this today on 7/6, so 7/5. I bought the game Pools on Steam.
Okay,
it's like a Escape from the Back Rooms, I think is what you call it, like those games. Except this one doesn't have like monsters chasing you, but the whole time you're playing it, it is eerie. Like it feels like somebody and something is like watching you at all times. And I got lost quite a bit in it, dude. So
that's unnerving, I think. You know what I mean?
Like, it is. I think so. I'm gonna give the like playthrough. We'll be releasing it here on YouTube too. I'm gonna be editing that today, but the whole time, and I played it on speakers, so I could only imagine what it's like when I'm like headset on and. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was really good though. I beat it in like I think Steam said like 2.3 hours, but I'd say probably like 15, 20 minutes of that. I was also like in pause taking care of the baby for a little bit. So, right. I beat it almost in under 2 hours. And it was, another reason I beat it too is because I wasn't really trying to explore it because I was so focused on like, dude, if I go one left and try and explore, I'm gonna get lost in this thing. So I was like straight on like trying to make sure I made it to the end. Hi, Mom. Oh, what's up, buddy?
He's looking for Mom. I don't know where Mom went.
Uh-oh. But anyways, though, pools.
I might have to pause. Give me 1 second.
For sure. So anyways, back to pools though. Sorry guys, we had dad duty came up for Biggie, so that's why there's a little skip in this, but we were just talking about pools. But yeah, great game. Honestly, I would give it 8 out of 10 if you're looking for something that's just to kind of relax. Like it's not, now there's extra achievements in it that you can get, and I'm like 100% type of deal. But I think I bought it for $6 on the summer sale. I think normally it's even $7. So it's really not even like a expensive game. Right. I recommend it, dude. It was, like I said, it was only a couple hours. It was very unnerving. They're like not necessarily jump scares, but like when you turn corners, there are certain things sometimes you're like, oh, like it makes you jump. And the ending definitely made me. That. No, but it's like, because they're not like, there's no monsters. So nothing's there to kill you. It's just like when you turn the corner and you see like, you'll see it in the review, I guess, but like just these statue men, which by the way, remind me of Hell Is Us enemies, like those things, like the big white monster thing. That's what it reminds me of. I'm not talking about your hog there, buddy. Anyways, back to it though. And so the next one I got, that's the monster I was talking about, dude. Not sponsored, by the way. Anyways,
delicious.
The other game I got, and this one was $1. Okay, it's called Air Marty, dude, and it's the dumbest game I've ever bought for $1, but it's also the best game I've bought for $1. Literally, the premise of the game, okay, is you are this guy that works some type of business job. You've saved enough money for your family and you to go on a vacation. And the game is nothing but mini games. However, how the mini games go directs your ending of the story. So they have like a total of like 68 endings that you can get. So I got about 10 of them last night, dude. And it's funny shit, dude. Like you start buckling your seatbelt. If you don't buckle your seatbelt correctly, then it triggers the next thing. And so like there was one point where essentially they have like this just to give you a synopsis, I didn't buckle my seatbelt. So then your wife tells you to put up her luggage. So then you put it up correctly. If you don't, it triggers another thing. But I put up her luggage, to which then the air hostess asks me, what do I want to eat, chicken or fish? And it's like a mini game that decides what you're getting. If you choose the fish, then this like wrestler that's trying to impersonate a certain guy from the 1970s, 80s, 90s, that's kind of a piece of shit guy. That, what's up, brother? That type of guy. Okay. That guy.
I was wondering if that's who it was, but I was like,
yeah, it's impersonating that specific wrestler. But anyways, so it's impersonating him. You essentially have to beat him in a minigame. I have not beat him in the minigame. I don't know if it's even possible. So then he decides to give you the belt to try on, the championship belt. If you correctly put the belt on, you then have this guy challenge you to a fight. And it's literally like a rock'em sock'em robot where the fists are just going, you're just spamming the space bar to beat this guy. You beat him, and you become world wrestler, like the champion, and the plane crashes and you die, and it says the end ? question mark, which then triggers you to play the game again to get the like a different ending. Like it's so stupid, but it's so funny, dude. The mini games they have you do is like hilarious. So I do it's $1. It takes maybe a minute and a half to get through an ending. So I recommend it, dude. If you have like just dumb, like something you want to try, Air Marty is the name. And then the next one I bought was Surrounded. I know I played it a little bit when we were on Discord. Earlier this week.
Game. Yeah.
It was like, it reminded you of like a pixelated Minecraft zombie survival game. I'm sure if you had friends to play with, it would be good. Playing it solo, I didn't enjoy it. But it was kind of cool. But Surrounded, I do think if I could find people to play with, I would buy it again. It's only $5 right now on Steam, so something to keep an eye out. And then as far as interesting ones, because I played pools, if people are interested in that, they do want monsters to chase, and we played a little bit together like a month or two ago. Escape the Backrooms together. That's currently on sale. And then also my game of the year, Clair Obscur, is on sale currently as well. So if you're looking for a AAA title, I highly recommend go get Clair Obscur. And huge shout out to their soundtrack because it put my kid to sleep last night. I sent the group, dude. I was playing that, and the soundtrack's best one of all time. But yeah, so that's our Steam topic review, whatever you want to call it, for this week. I'm kind of curious to see what other people are buying. I know a lot of people in our community are like PlayStation, so I know we didn't cover that, but a lot of the PlayStation games that are for sale are also on Steam, so it's kind of the same thing, just less, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, so back to the main topic. Like we said in the intro today, is we're gonna go with our most controversial takes in gaming. So I want you to start first, Biggie.
What?
And I want you to give me, because we'll go back and forth here. We're just shooting the shit, my guy.
You do one, I do one, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna go about it. So, what is your number? What if you had to rank it? What is the least hot take that you have for today?
Okay, least hot take. I'm looking at. I had to write them down.
Yeah, and then also, I don't know if you need to adjust your threshold. You are cutting it out a little bit.
Oh, I am?
Yeah. But that's okay. We'll play with the settings a little bit. It seems like it's like every 3 or 4 words.
Oh, that's not good.
Guys watching, I promise we have our shit together. It's been a hell of a week for Biggie. Let me tell you what.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about it.
If anyone is a mechanic that wants to work on stuff for free, let us know.
What is that? Is that better? Or is that just making me louder?
I mean, it definitely made you louder, but you're not cutting out right now, so we're okay.
Okay. I guess we'll roll with that, and you tell me if it's too loud.
You are very loud. Hold on. I can turn you down, though. Will you talk? I know we're messing with...
Yeah. How's it going? How are you? What's up? All right,
we'll try that.
Okay. Hopefully that's better. Anyway. Ranking them.
Anyways, yeah. What's your least favorite, or your least hot take out of the hot takes you have?
Least hot take is probably backwards compatibility. I think it needs to be standard across all companies. Doesn't matter. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. If you made a game in the past, you need to keep supporting it. I'm not saying like you have, but like definitely need to.
You're not saying what it cut
available.
Out. You're not saying what.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're good, dude.
I'm not saying you have to like update it on the regular, but I'm saying like
just
you
like
should
like how it was in the old day.
Have it available, yeah. Like let's play.
Actually, though, now that I think about it, when I had the 360, I don't think every game was backwards compatible. I think most were.
I don't think everyone was, but like there's definitely like a majority of them.
Yeah, dude.
But,
I mean, I agree with that, dude. I mean that actually leads into one of mine, but I definitely agree that they need to make backwards compatibility stuff more readily available.
Right, and like I know there's some like nuances to it where it's like like licenses run out, they expire, that kind of stuff, but that's that's fine for those, but like if we're talking like games that are owned
specific to that,
by
like Nintendo,
yeah
PlayStation, or
by
Sony,
the
I should
company,
say.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, like why why aren't those available? It's just because they're greedy. They just want money,
It's all
which
money makes
go
the
ahead.
world go round, brother. Money makes the world go
Absolutely.
round.
I got home yesterday from working on the van, like I told you, and Grayson was like talking to me, and he said something like, "What happened, Daddy?" or like that kind of stuff, and I was
Right.
like, "What happened was that Daddy didn't have money." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Dude,
and I was
it's
like,
true though. Like
and
money makes
I
the
told him, I
world.
was like, "This is gonna sound bad, but I want you to understand, you need to have money if you want to like do anything in life, and like I know that's a greedy, manipulative thing to have, like to like
But
that
it's
kind
the
of
truth,
think."
man. It's the truth.
But yeah, 100%. Like if I had the money, I would have had this professionally done, and I wouldn't have had,
You would have had the
been
time to
gone
go do
all
whatever.
day.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I get it,
But
man.
yeah.
I get
So
it. Yeah, well, I guess
yeah.
your hot take leads me into one of mine, which is actually one of
Mm-hmm.
my like what I consider the least hot take that I have. And when I say backwards compatibility for you, I think it if they were to do that, it would actually eliminate mine, which would be
Mm-hmm.
remasters and remakes trend, dude. It is making the
Mm.
gaming industry worse. Now, that's with exception. I do think there is a place for it. I think that like games that you can't readily get like from your childhood, let's say, like Crash Bandicoot, dude. When
Mm-hmm.
they remade those, I was like, let's go. Like I was excited. But they also didn't have it. You know, they don't do that every 2-3 years just to re-release it, you know.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
like Oblivion was fine because they did so much new stuff to it. But like Skyrim, how many Skyrims are there, dude? You know, like come on, it saturates the market with games that are already out, like that are
Mm-hmm.
coming out. So I think it hurts the industry in that regard, just people aren't trying new games. Um, so it takes away from the new games. You know, like I think Clear Obscure, the fact that it succeeded, especially with only 30 plus, I think it was like 33. Well, I guess I'd Clear Obscure Expedition 33, but I think there was like only 30 something people that worked on that game too. So
Oh, really?
the fact that it released around the same time as Oblivion did, I was shocked that it like caught on because I feel like if a remaster remake gets put out, it's more successful than the newer games because it's people want to go with what they know. So
That's fair. That
I
makes
think,
sense.
and then also I think it just takes away from the creativeness from companies that companies have available because you're putting people on projects to essentially remake a game that has it requires no creativeness to it because all you're really doing
Because it's already
is
been made.
yeah, you're just putting it into a new engine
Right.
essentially.
Makes
So
makes sense.
that would be my least hot take that we have going on uh for this you know
For this little bit.
hot take. Yeah, dude. So remasters, remakes. I don't think they
Okay.
need to be going. I don't think they need gone completely, but I do think that they need to tone it down a bit
That's fair.
with the amount that they do. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah. What your thoughts on that? I mean, are you kind of
Ah,
in the same boat?
man. Like a part of me is like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like because I definitely think like, oh, it's the lazy way out of like, oh, we need to release something. Let's release something we've already released.
Right.
Especially if we're talking like, hey, Skyrim, you released it on PS3 and Xbox 360, PS4 and Xbox One, PS5 and Xbox Series
I
X.
think it's been on everything,
PC.
dude.
It's literally like, yeah,
It's on the
you
Switch,
released
even,
it.
isn't it? Isn't it on the
Yeah,
Switch?
it's
Yeah,
on the
dude.
Switch. I think there's a fine line to be towed. Uh, because for your case where you were like, hey, Crash Bandicoot, like that is an older game. It
Right.
doesn't look the
Ba-
best. It doesn't play the best. You know what I
Backyard
mean?
baseball, even, you know,
Backyard baseball.
like that stuff, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like there is room for it, like you said. But if you're doing it to just fill a slot and you have no plans to continue that series or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of unnecessary. Why not make the game playable and you're
Exactly.
perfectly fine.
Exactly.
So,
I agree, dude.
um, like part of me is like, man, Resident Evil is kind of, I think, the perfect example of, hey, no, it's the right thing to do it, because they remade 2, 3, and 4, and from the sounds of it, 4, like 2, 3, and 4 fall into this weird, like, they're remakes of the originals, but they kind of slant a little bit where things are just slightly different.
Okay. See, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so like I didn't know that. I thought it was just like a copy paste for the Resident Evils.
See, that's what I thought, but I think there's some small differences that are supposed to help tie the universe together a little bit better.
Okay.
So like if that's the case, I can understand it.
Okay.
But like I don't know. I'm like, I think, because like in my brain is like, when we say remaster, and it's like, cool, that just typically means it's an upscaled kind of visually kind of thing,
right?
And then remake, and I think what people need to do is decide whether something needs remade or remastered. Like, for instance, the Legacy of Kain games that came out, the Soul Reaver remaster
I don't think I've ever played or heard anything about that.
Okay, so they did a Soul Reaver remaster for 1 and 2 in December last year. And it was a remaster. It was just upscaled visually is all it was. Those games would have benefited from a full-on remake more than they would have benefited from a remaster, I think.
Okay.
So that's, in my opinion, they should have gone with that one instead of going with that. But if they had no intentions of continuing the series, I guess I can understand why they did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Okay. But what was that game called? Actually, I haven't ever heard of it.
It's Soul Reaver, I think is the technical name. Is it Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver? I think that's what it is.
Okay. So yeah, I've never even heard any of that. So
it's it plays like a PS1 game. You know what I mean?
Okay. And actually, not to interrupt you, I just thought of this, and I didn't put it down. One of our new followers over on YouTube, he actually went back to our episode 1 where we did talk a little bit about remakes and remasters, and he actually is kind of on our side about or maybe a little step further. But Jonathan Caps, thank you for the follow and subscription over on YouTube. He says remakes are ridiculous. However, games like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot were around for a lot of new gamers, so they are new for a lot of people who didn't have or experience older consoles. And I think that's a really good point to be had when we're talking about this. Is as far as like new gamers, because I don't think neither of us have like touched on that. It's important for the remakes. I think that's where the spot for these remakes and remasters should be, is to introduce the new gamer to this, because a new gamer, like kids our age, unless like someone like you where you collect the consoles, right? They're not like, those kids are going to have access to the PlayStation 1 where they can play Crash Bandicoot. They aren't going to have access to the old PC where they can play Backyard Baseball, like stuff like that. So Jonathan Caps did make a really good point on that. And thanks again for subscribing over on YouTube and watching our older episodes. Thanks. It means a lot, man. But I didn't mean to cut you off on that, but I was like, wait a minute, we're talking about this, and I didn't add his question to that. So Jonathan Caps, thank you. And so anyways, back to the thought process you had with the remake. So
no, that was pretty much it. It's like,
okay.
I think companies need to decide, like, hey, let's just remaster worthy, and then go from there.
Okay.
So
I agree. And so then I guess what's your next take, I guess?
I'm gonna cover this one because it's probably a hot take to me, and it's something that upsets me, but it's probably not something that a lot of gamers are like, meh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it's that companies shouldn't be buying up other companies and then just laying people off, closing studios and shit. Microsoft is a big pusher of this, apparently. That recently, I don't know if you guys have heard, but they've closed the Initiative studio, which was working on the Perfect Dark remake reboot, I
Okay.
believe, and
Oh no, another remake. I'm kidding. I'm
uh,
kidding.
no, I get it. But it was supposedly going to be like one of the first like quadruple A video games to come out. And
Quadruple A.
the simple fact that the studio couldn't even release a game before they got closed is wild to me. You know what I mean? Like that makes
It,
me wonder why even purchase them to begin with, because they were, I think,
take out competition. Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't know. Like, because I don't even know that they were a studio before Microsoft bought them. Like, I think it was like, maybe they were working on something. I don't remember exactly, but regardless, they weren't even able to push a game out, and they were closed. And then you have so a lot, like in the same week, Rare came out and they were like, "Hey, the game a couple years ago, we're canceling it."
See,
And it's like,
I wonder
they're
if
both owned by Microsoft.
right. I wonder. It has to be something with interest. I feel like where they start it, they announce it, and then once they do like their polls or whatever they do, they've gauged like, hey, I don't think we're gonna be able to like make the money off of this that we need to,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not deep enough into it to really like, it's not like let's say like, and this would never happen, like GTA 6, right? Let's say they say, hey, we're releasing GTA 6, and they've been doing it for 15 years, and all of a sudden there's no interest in it. Like they're still going to finish that game because they put so much into
Right.
it. I think maybe that's one of the things where it's like, yes, we're money into it, but the interest isn't there, and this is where we can cut corners to release that next game.
Right.
Maybe that has to be the process, right? Like I can't sit here and think that like a company is just actively like wasting people's time just to cut their jobs in like 3 months.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not unheard of, because you have WB Studios who went so far as to film like 3 movies and then they let them all go for tax purposes. Like they didn't
Yeah.
release them for tax reasons. Like,
See,
can
that's
video game
nuts,
companies
dude.
do the same thing? Like that's
I mean, I would assume so, right? Like it's in the entertainment industry.
yeah.
Like it's the same thing.
So to me, it's just like one. It's either like, so you guys bought the studio, invested in them, and then gave them X amount of time, and they couldn't do it,
Okay.
or you saw it, said this isn't what we wanted, and then you wait. Regardless, you're wasting your money and you're wasting people's time, letting them work on these projects that you're not gonna
Yeah.
like support.
I would
And
have to assume then that that's not what their goal is.
right, absolutely. But then what is the goal? Because like you don't buy a studio to then be like, well, we're not releasing your game,
Right.
right?
I
Like
yeah, I don't know, man.
it's kind of along the same lines as PlayStation buying the company that made Concord, and
Yes.
then Concord released for 2 weeks, and then they were like, yeah, we're done with this, we're shutting it down.
Yeah. Well, they had
And
to
then
though on that one.
and then they closed that studio.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even give them a second chance. You know what I mean? So it's wild that you bought it, you bought the company, and then
Right.
released the game, and then was like, nope.
Yeah. Bought it because we want quick cash, and then
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's what it was.
yeah.
But also the fact that Rare canceled their game and they weren't closed, I think that's strictly just based off the fact that Rare is a quote unquote institution, or was an institution back in the day. You know, they made Banjo Kazooie, Banjo
Mm-hmm.
Tooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day. They're known, excuse me, they're known for a lot of stuff.
Oh, see,
And I feel like their name is the only reason they didn't close down.
right. I don't know. It's like such a hit and miss, because there's like sometimes where it's like, oh, it makes sense. Like you're talking about Concord, and I'm like, well, dude, that one like there's sometimes such a terrible launch of something that like you don't deserve a second chance. Now, that's not necessarily like the studio's fault. Sometimes it could be,
Okay, so I'm going to pose this question. If you're Sony and you go to this studio and you see the game, and then you're like, I'm going to buy you guys, and then the game comes out, it should be even better than the product you initially saw, and then you're like, nope, we're closing you guys down. That to me doesn't make any sense. So you knew what the product was going to look like,
right? But that doesn't mean that Sony didn't make an error in calculating what that product would have meant to the consumer. So like, it could have very well meant that like PlayStation thought, dude, this is gonna like change the industry, or like this game is it for these people. And then, well, then it releases, and all of a sudden it's, you know, there is no demand for it. People did not like what they played, and so then at that point, that's why they cut that. I think the Concord example, personally, I think the Concord example was because of that. I think it was a PlayStation exec or the board, whoever decides to make those acquisitions. I think that they thought that this game was going to be something, and it turned out not to be, and that's why they made that decision. Now other ones where like they acquire them, they know that this game is being made, and then they make the game for like half a year, 6 months, whatever it is, and then they can the team in the studio before the game even comes out. That doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, you're already in money on this, so like why not just try it, you know? But that's, yeah,
I don't know.
The Concord one though is the only one I think where I'm like, actually, like, I understand that because it released so bad. But
that's fair. Marketing
though, you know, it's not necessarily on the studio all the time. So,
right. And I mean, again, this is more strictly just like, hey, if you're not going to support the studios that you buy, don't buy them, because this is probably going to sound bad. But when Tango Gameworks closed, when Arcane Austin closed, like, those are studios that made good games. Like, Tango Gameworks made Evil Within. Those are good games. Yeah, they probably weren't the highest sellers because it was a horror franchise. Horror games don't always sell the most. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you.
Right, and then Arcane Austin, okay, so they had one bad game, and it was that vampire game. What was it? We keep
Redfall?
Talking about
was it Redfall? Red Dawn?
Redfall. Redfall. That one bad game, and then you're like, nope, you guys are done. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, I understand it came really shitty. It was bad. It was glitchy. But you don't close Bethesda when they release Fallout 76, and you can't even fucking aim. You know what I mean? Like,
it comes down to money.
It's ridiculous.
It comes down to money, and then I'm sure someone at Bethesda has a good connection.
I think it's wild.
Dude, I get it. I mean, yeah, from business aspects, I understand it. I don't understand how it's, you know, the teams that have made good games, and then they're like, well, you're just not bringing in the money. Well, maybe you should keep the studio, get them to do a different game, and maybe can the studios that are making shitty games.
Or maybe don't buy so many to begin with. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, they I think they buy it just because at the end of the day, like, if we're buying it, like, it's more money in the street. Like,
it's more IPs. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, because IPs are what make money.
Yes.
But the simple fact that, like, you have so many eggs in so many baskets, when you yourself are not financially stable enough to support that many baskets, it's a scoping issue. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. I mean, yeah, because it's not just that. And I'll say this: this part is not just a gaming industry issue. This is business in general. This is
across the board.
This is corporate America, dude. But yeah, I get what you're saying on that.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents. What's your next one that makes you?
Dude, this one I'm gonna get so much. I'm gonna get so much shit for this one. You know. Okay. But I am a frequent flyer when it comes to buying sports games. When it comes to Madden, take my money. It could be $150. Well, I take that back. If it's $150, I'm not buying it. I'll wait till the Christmas sale. But, like, you know, whatever the new game prices are, I would end up buying Madden regardless. I understand that typically it is just a reskin. With that being said, it is no different than people buying Call of Duty every year. And yet the people that buy Call of Duty every year don't get as much shit as people buying Madden every year. And why? It's the same freaking thing. Oh, dude, this Call of Duty, it's different guns. No, it's not. It's the same guns that they used 2 games ago. It's just that era of guns. Oh, well, the movement system's different. Okay, how's that any different than the movement system and the tackling systems that they're introducing into Madden? Well, the graphics are just a tiny bit better. Okay, how's that any different than from freaking Madden releasing new graphics every year? Oh, the new cosmetic. Dude, it's the same thing. So here's my thing, though. Here's my thing.
You just found another hot take for me, but I'll say
okay. Well, like, here's my thing, though, and this is like the main point I'm getting at. If you're gonna talk shit about this, make sure you don't buy Call of Duty too. Like, the people that give the most shit about Madden, it's like the Call of Duty community, right? And I'm talking like the guys that play it like all the time, dude. They're the biggest like, I'm gonna call you out because I'm uncomfortable in my own skin, people. Okay, like they're probably the fucking people complaining about Assassin's Creed Shadows because it was going woke. Dude, who gives a fuck, dude? All right. Like, my hot take though is like I said, they're no different. So they need to stop giving people that buy these sports games shit for it. They do the same fucking thing, dude. And like, let's be honest, it's not terrible all the time. Like, people that bitch about Madden are expecting this like completely different game. Dude, it's football, right? You can only do simulation football. Like what? Let's be honest, a perfect simulation game is if they can get every single game correct of what happens in the NFL season, right? But you can't do that because then it's not like they have to anyways, sports games getting released every year are no different than Call of Duty. So how about we pipe down on giving the people that buy sports games some shit, okay? Do we like people that buy it? We understand it's not that big of a difference, but neither is your Call of Duty. And you know what? I don't buy the battle pass in Madden or the season pass. You guys are buying not only the game, but you're spending $15 every time. So anyways, that's my number 2. That's my number 2.
That's man.
What's your thoughts on that? I know you agree with like, it's the same thing.
No, I mean, this is probably this is probably the wrong perspective to have on the internet as somebody who doesn't like to argue. Man, play what you want to play. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit if this fucking game is the same thing every year? Who gives a shit if this game is the same every year? Play what you want to play. You know what I mean? Like you said, you can only simulate football so well. You can only simulate shooting somebody so well. You know what I mean? There is no difference.
Dude,
there's a difference, but there is no difference.
But not like shit. It's the same stuff. And yet those people, like I said, those specific people, and I'm not trying to pick on just one community here, right? Like, but let's be honest, that the hardcore in that community are toxic.
Absolutely.
You know, those are the guys that are just so uncomfortable in their own skin. They have to point out other flaws and things to make themselves feel better. Like, they were probably the guy, like I said, back on the Assassin's Creed thing, they were like, oh, this game's woke. I just want to point out it was a choice to end up doing what they're complaining about, which tells me what they probably do. All I'm saying, dude. Pansies.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed Origins. So
that was a good. Dude, so you didn't play Odyssey, did you? That's the best one in my opinion out of like the recent like 5. I don't really count Mirage into that. Mirage kind of sucked. It was like DLC, but I'm talking out of the main ones that came out: the Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla and Shadows. Yeah, I think Odyssey was the best one.
Nothing beats 2 and Brotherhood, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they were honestly the Ezio and Altair ones were really good. I liked Revelations.
2 and Brotherhood.
I did like 2. Brotherhood was probably the one I played the most.
I did not like Revelations. The tower defense system, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, that sucked. I just liked the story because it finished Altair's like.
That's fair.
I liked it for that reason.
He was such a good character,
dude. He was.
They'll never have another Altair. You know what I mean? Like, period across the board.
Ezio, Altair. Nope. But, yeah. But anyways, that's my second to last, or not my hottest take, but dude, give us sports guys some slack, dude.
You said something that brought up a hot take.
Okay.
And this is just gonna be a bonus.
Okay.
Graphics in games don't fucking matter.
To an extent. But like, yes, also they don't.
They should not matter. they should not be a selling point. And I'll explain. What do you play a game for? What you should play a game because it's fun, because you enjoy it.
Yes.
Right? What the fuck does that have to do with graphics?
So I think this comes from a personal standpoint, right? And this is gonna be this is gonna be fucked up when it goes to the FPS stuff. But like for like Madden, I think it matters because you're looking for a simulation. So you're looking to be as close to the real life thing as you can get.
Okay.
People that are playing simulation shooters, that's fucked up, but they want to be like, they want that experience, right? And I think that's when graphics matter. Now, if you're like a casual gamer that's like playing, I don't like Zelda, because we talked about it earlier, that doesn't matter to an extent. I think it needs to flow smoothly. I think it needs to have lifelike qualities to an extent, like not like necessarily look like it's like a human, like a skin wise texture, but it needs to like flow right. It can't like, it needs to like, the shapes in it need to be good. Like it needs to flow smoothly.
So I
but
mean,
then it doesn't matter because it's a fantasy world. So like, how do you,
in the context of, okay, if I can tell if I'm having fun, everybody has different like parameters of what is fun, right?
Correct.
I shouldn't have to look at a game and be like, the fact that he has mustache hair and I can count all the mustache hair, that's fun for me. That makes it a good game. It does not make a good game. No. Graphics do not make a good game. You know what I mean? Graphics should not be a selling point simply on the fact that it offers nothing to you other than what you can see.
It depends on the game, though. Once again, it goes back. Like if you're into the simulation, realistic games, it does matter.
Okay, so I would say in your football, yes.
Right.
Is Call of Duty marketed as a simulation game, or is it marketed as a multiplayer?
So Call of Duty, I'm ragging on the Call of Duty community, but the reason the Call of Duty graphics matter is because those are the guys that can't handle real simulation stuff because they're dog shit at it, but they want the feeling of like they're good at an actual simulation game. So that's why it matters. The Call of Duty community is dude, they are the community that like they are not true to themselves. Listen, if that's how you are, it's okay. All right, I'm talking to you, Call of Duty players. It's okay to be like you. It's all right. You don't have to be angry at everybody else. But that's why I think in Call of Duty it does matter, because their community, it's catering to the community. Now, like going back to like Zelda, no, it doesn't matter because it's like a fantasy. Even I don't know, like Halo doesn't matter. No, because it's fantasy, sci-fi. Mm-hmm. Like that stuff isn't necessarily like realistic. Well, maybe Halo, who knows? But like, but you know, it's not realistic. One of these days. Well, it probably is, just not in a galaxy far away.
I guess maybe I should reframe it in terms of like graphics shouldn't come first when developing a game. The Last of Us 2 didn't need to look as good as it did in order for it to sell. It should have been you should have focused on gameplay and story.
Yes.
And then concern yourself with graphics.
Now, I think I agree with that, but I think that The Last of Us is trying to be a realistic setting. So I think that's why they focused on graphics, like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto. They are in a realistic time setting, so they have to focus. Like I said, I think I kind of disagree with you in the fact with graphics shouldn't be a selling point when it comes to like what game you're trying to make. Like I know when you and Zach were playing Core Keepers, graphics don't matter. It's a fantasy game. People aren't playing that because it's realistic. But when you play Last of Us, Call of Duty, even though you know, it's okay to be you guys. Be yourself. Be true to yourself. You know what's another Madden, Escape from Tarkov, like those games, you are looking for a realistic like setting. You want it to feel kind of lifelike. Horror games, I think that graphics matter because in order to get that you know, in a game such as horror,
Okay.
It needs to scare you in real life. And how do you do that? It needs to look real life.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up something, and this is all gonna be kind of like what you're talking about doesn't really matter, like for me, or like what I'm saying doesn't matter. So you said horror games, you said Madden, you said Call of Duty. Now, if we go back a little bit, 30, 40 years, they had football games on the NES and the SNES. And at the time, they were fun, were they not? They were fun for those people
because it was new.
Yeah, but like, were the graphics the main selling point then, or were they just the simple fact that it was like, this is a football game?
Yes, because at the time you didn't have the graphic capability to do that. Right? If you were to put that person in today's time and tell them choose Madden or choose Tecmo Bowl. Now there's going to be some of those like retro, and I'm talking like those diehards, right? The retro games, sure, because they think old games are better because I would argue a lot of times it's not because the game's better, it's because they have a good experience when they were younger and they're trying to relate to that, not necessarily that it's a better game. So I think that if you were to have somebody today, like let's even older, but they've never played a game before, have no connection to it, and choose, here's Tecmo Bowl, here's Madden. Which one are you playing? Sorry about hitting the mic, but which one are you playing? They're going to choose Madden because it's more lifelike.
Okay, and hold on. I guess let me ask this question. Could you get the same feeling of Madden, like the same feeling that you get out of it? Could you get that same feeling from Tecmo Bowl if you played it?
I'm sure you could, but like knowing,
isn't that the goal?
It is, but here's my point. I'm sure you could get the same feeling, but if you know Madden's there, and I'm like, there could be, I don't know, the UFL makes a game or the XFL makes a game, right?
Right.
It's there. I can sit down and play Madden for 8 hours, right? Let's say, really not. I could probably play it for like 3, and then I'm like, okay, I'm out. But but you give me Tecmo Bowl, I will play it for 15 minutes. I'll be like, all right, whatever.
Okay.
Because there's less to appreciate in it.
I guess this is still my hot take then.
Hey, we like.
I don't think graphics should be as big of a deal.
I agree to a point.
I guess for me, you know what I mean? Like that's
but like
I also don't play the simulation games. I play the fantasy games. I play the Legend of Zelda. I play the.
But that's. You cut out there, so I don't know. And my camera has a foot. Well, you know what, Chat? Make us famous so I can get a new camera because like now it's having focusing issues.
There you go. Yeah, I see it. You're all blurry.
Yeah, but while I'm figuring this out, I mean, like I said though, man, like you're sorry, we're going to focus. Does this make it worse? Yes, it does. Anyways, all right, we'll just try to work it out here. I don't know. Sorry, guys. But anyways. It doesn't matter in certain games. And I will say you are right. There it goes. You are right in that aspect. I just think that you can't put graphics don't matter as a selling graphics as far as like a selling point in the gaming industry as a whole, because it depends on the type of game. So I think that's where I differ from you, where I can't say that for like every game ever.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so I guess my next hot take though. Well, I guess do you have anything else to add to that before?
No. I mean, no.
I'm curious. I'm curious for anybody listening too. I'm curious what they think. Mm-hmm. You know, do graphics matter? Like I know there are some people in our community that were and we had another good week as far as like growing. I know there's some that do retro only. Like that's what they focus, you know? I know there's some that only play simulation. I know there's some that are, hey, we are just straight Nintendo community, like the anime, like that stuff. So I'm curious what they think. You know, and I'm curious too if their opinion if they can put it aside as far as personal compared to industry. Because like personally, like I typically play simulation games. So I'm going to be like, you know, personally, yeah, they matter. But I'm also setting it to the side. Like I know people that like to play the Zelda stuff, the fantasy, sci-fi, doesn't matter necessarily. So, dude, how is it?
Amazing.
Ooh. I haven't done any of the zero sugar stuff, dude. I'm very like, listen, if I'm drinking a pop, I'm not trying to lose weight. That's how I am, dude.
Yeah, I can't. Like honestly, I've switched to just drinking zero sugar pretty much everything.
And now do you enjoy it more though? Like now do you like prefer the zero sugar, or can you still taste the difference?
I mean, I can still taste the difference, but like I prefer it now.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Huh. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I need to give it a try then. Maybe I need to give it a try.
Only thing is, like, when they release a soda that's like a limited edition or something,
It's not in zero sugar.
yeah, they very rarely do it in zero sugar. Like, there's an A&W ice cream sundae that they're gonna release at some point.
I bet that's gonna be good.
I want to try that, but I don't think it's coming in zero sugar. So
Damn.
I'm just gonna be like, well, fucking, here we go.
Shit. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this leads to my last hot take. And I think this one, but that's fine, dude. That's fine. But I think this one is going to get some people's feathers ruffled.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Mass Effect 3. The Shepard story ending to that trilogy, and I'm talking the original, was good, and it's what it needed. It was good.
Tell me about it.
Not every.
I've never.
And I'm sorry if I missed something here, because it's been years since I've played the trilogy. I played Andromeda recently, but Mass Effect. So essentially, Mass Effect 1, and as you get, well, you may not know, Mass Effect, the trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, you start in Mass Effect 1, every decision you make throughout that game has an impact in the following game. Okay? So if you decide to kill Rex, the Krogan, in game 1, he's not going to be there in game 3. If you chose the good route and you saved him through all the games, hey, he's there in number 3. And then it provides different outcomes to that game as well. Okay? So I perfected it. I got, and then that trilogy I would, it's safe to say I have pretty much all possible outcomes for every game, because that's what I played as a kid, when I was in high school, whatever. In Mass Effect 3, essentially, even if you chose the 100% ending where you're the good guy, you've saved everybody, at no matter what you do, in the original, now they did release a DLC where they went back on it because the community was so, butthurt about it, probably the Call of Duty gamers. They killed off Shepard, who's the main character. You have 3 decisions. I believe it's let the Reapers, which are like the main bad guys, which if you guys want to find out more, maybe I do a like how you did your Borderlands. Maybe I do a retrospective of Mass Effect. But essentially the Reapers, like this alien, like the creators essentially, and they're just like killing all sentient life and then going to restart it. They do it I think it was like every 50,000 years, I think, or something crazy like that. You have 3 options. You either let the Reapers continue doing what they're doing and you see why they do it, because AI is taking over. Like, it's essentially like the checks and balances for the universe is what they are.
Okay.
You destroy the Reaper, and I believe or the Reapers, and I believe in doing this specific way, you kill everybody, even the Reapers, I think is what the other option was. And the third option was you sacrifice yourself. And you do that because I think it was like it's just an endless cycle, and you want to make sure that like you're essentially being the final decider for the Reapers. I think is like nothing can exist. And then the third option was you sacrifice yourself, and you kill all the Reapers, but you die in the process. And every single outcome, you die.
Right.
So even if you do the good guy ending, you're dead. And so the community was upset. And because of that, they're like, Mass Effect 3 is awful. It is an awful game because of the ending. And dude, I'm just here to tell you, not every game needs a happy fairy tale ending. They don't, right? And which it kind of gets into my other like hot-ish take, which wasn't, I decided just kind of loop it in together. But especially in trilogies, dude, I think games, if you're implementing the same characters for main storyline, excluding prequels, need to have 3. You need to stop at 3. If you do prequels, sure, because then you might have stories within that story, but the story's kind of determined. You just don't have all the details. So it doesn't necessarily affect the original trilogy or like what got that IP going. It doesn't affect that storyline.
Right.
I think maybe the one exclusion could be Star Wars, just because there's so much crap, and it was like a movie and comics and books before. I know, dude, I'm glazing them, but like it wasn't it didn't start out as a video game. I'm saying for like, which I don't think Mass Effect did either. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been a comic, but still, like there's exceptions. But I think for the most part, 99% of like games need to have a trilogy limit, and then you kind of can do prequels. Otherwise, like create a new storyline. Like you can still use the IP, like kind of how they did with Andromeda, but it's not the same like story, if that makes sense. Like it's the same universe, same aspect, same like background almost, but it's not Shepard. It's not
right.
You know, like Gears of War was bad with it, dude. Gears of War 1, 2, 3, phenomenal. Then 4 and 5, and it kind of I don't want to say destroyed it, but like destroyed it. You know, like they could have done E-Day. Like I think they did actually. Whereas the prequel, like that one, I think that's what. Yeah, the E-Day one was okay because it's like a prequel, so the story's already been set. Doesn't affect the outcome of Gears of War, you know. What's another one that even did it? Now I'm talking shit on this, and I've never played them. It's kind of like God of War, where I've played them or very little, but like I know what happens. But like Final Fantasy, like dude, there's so many of them, and like I'm not trying to shit on the IP of Final Fantasy, phenomenal, but like dude, at what point do you kind of go like, it's just a never ending story? Like stories need to have endings.
It's a never ending story,
dude. Exactly.
Well, okay. Not every Final Fantasy is linked to the one before it,
and I understand that. So it's almost like an Andromeda thing.
Yeah,
but
100%,
dude. How many? There's like 20 something, if not more, right?
16.
Okay, so dude, you're nearing it where you're like, it's like Fast and Furious, dog.
I should let you know there's 16 main entries and then there's spin-offs.
Yeah, so too many main entries. Too many. I understand, like, you're gonna have the Final Fantasy diehards, dude. We're like, yeah, kill them, pitch and fork, you know, they're coming at me, but yeah. So I just think that games need to have a trilogy. If you do more than that, it kind of ruins the story. Like there's always exceptions, but not every game is an exception. So stop doing it for every game. But
that's fair.
But the main hot take here, Mass Effect 3, the game's ending was fucking phenomenal. It was phenomenal, dude. What, you upset Shepard died? You're upset.
No, I hate Mass Effect. Mass Effect could go suck a dick. I hate to break it to you.
You son of a bitch.
I call it Mass Erect for reasons because it's just a giant limp penis.
Dude, it was so good, man.
I hate it. Like I tried playing the first one. I tried playing the second one.
The first one's
like,
see, that's what's crazy.
These all suck.
Is you have to play 1, 2 in order to get the best outcome in 3. Like I'm talking the best experience in 3. Mm-hmm. 1 was worse than 2. 2 was worse than 3. But you like, because you're forced to, it holds some significance. Like I thought Mass Effect 1 introducing the story was phenomenal, but like when you look at it overall, it was very empty. It's very empty. But it's also, it was made way back in the day, so like
what, 2006?
Dude, actually, I'm curious now. I don't know. I know it was. Wasn't it earlier than that, dude?
2004, 2006. That's
I'm gonna say. Like, I would say 2004. I'd be behind Mass Effect during 2004. What the hell, dude? Some of the. Sorry, my phone's being weird. Some of these, like, okay, I can't say it on stream. But what it just gave me was pretty fucked up. As like a. 2007. No, it asked me, is Mass Effect something, and I'm like, what the fuck? But Mass Effect, it was released in 2007, so actually shocking to me. So because that game felt like it was released before.
Yeah.
Like as far as like what was available to do in that game.
That did not have a 2007 vibe to it, I don't think.
No. So then I'm curious. Then when was 2? 2 was in 10. Yep. And then 3 was probably 13.
I think it was 15, wasn't it?
12. So they only had 2 years between.
Oh my god.
Yeah. 2012, dude. See, I think I was we were in high school when that came out. I remember that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I don't remember how I ended up playing 1 and 2, dude. I think my dad got 1 and he bought 2 at the same time.
Well, because the first one was originally an Xbox exclusive.
Yes, we were Xbox growing up. Yeah, I was Xbox growing up. And I think dad bought 1 and 2 together. And I played.
I think the first 2, I think, were Xbox exclusives, were they?
I think all of them were. And then Mass Effect 3 came out. I want to actually. Did Mass Effect 3, and this is off topic, did Mass Effect 3 come out on PlayStation when they did the trilogy set?
Mm-hmm.
That's because I think all of them were. But Andromeda was a PlayStation, because at that time in college, I was PlayStation 4. And I bought Andromeda on release day.
I thought 3 came out on PS3.
It could have. I don't know, because I was still Xbox at that time, so it could have. But it doesn't make sense to me if it did, because the decisions you make in the games matter. So I would assume that they were Xbox exclusive. Actually, I have the case, dude. I should look downstairs when we get it.
You could.
Yeah. I'll look downstairs and we'll post an update on it later, I think. Okay. But yeah. Anyways, Mass Effect 3 ending was phenomenal.
Yeah. Some people disagree with that, I'm sure.
Dude, I wish you liked it so we could talk more in it, dude. I like that has the lore behind all that, man, and like the decisions, the classes. It was so good.
That just I don't care for it.
Bring back the series, please, for the love of God. You teased it. Bring it back.
No, they ever since that last Dragon Age game, BioWare's probably done.
Bring it back. Somebody buy it. Somebody buy it, please, for the love of God. Buy it.
Yeah, EA selling a company. Fucking, they'll sit on that IP like they fucking sat on everything else.
Buy it.
Oh fuck, that's funny as hell.
Bring back Mass Effect 2028.
Mass Effect. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna gloss over my last 2 just to make them a little bit quick. Live service games, I think, are a trend that, not that they need to end. Like, I understand a live service game
right
concept, but I definitely think it's like, hey, this needs to be limited to like only certain companies are doing this, because I feel like it's also forcing other companies to be like, other companies are being forced to make it, and that's not their forte. Like,
what do you mean they're being forced to make it?
Well, like, because a lot of these companies, like, I feel like a lot of the ones, like Sony specifically, like, okay, let's look at the Sony issue that was there, which was that under the Jim Ryan era of Sony, I believe, there was a big live service push. He was pushing a lot of the studios like, hey, you guys need to make live games because this is what's going to make us money. So that's when they had the Last of Us Factions that was going to come out. They had the Spider-Man multiplayer game that was going to come. There is the Horizon Zero Dawn multiplayer games. Stuff is when that production started.
Oh, I didn't know Horizon was doing multiplayer.
Yeah, I think they're even still doing an MMO or something. Okay. But I don't know if it's still being worked on. But regardless, there was a big push for these live service games, which is when Bungie was bought by PlayStation and brought in as consultants, being like, hey, you need to tell us what properties we have that are worth doing a live service game. And that was when Bungie supposedly was like, well, you need to get rid of these because these aren't worthwhile projects. And a lot of people were like, well, isn't that you guys just interfering with the competition then? Because you all game,
right?
You know what I mean? So it essentially was just Sony going to their companies that they owned and being like, hey, you need to do single player games and you need to do multiplayer games. And some studios, I think, aren't meant for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I think it's a matter of like, if you can do it and you have the team that can do it, that's perfectly fine. But I don't think you need to be taking like Sony Santa Monica, who made God of War. I don't think you need to take that company and be like, you need to make service games. Like, no, you need to make more God of War and story games because that's what you're good at. If you want to expand, that's a completely different thing. Don't force a company to expand when they have no prior experience doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
I get that.
That's that. The last one I'll talk about. Excuse me.
Dude, live service though. And you know what? Now that you point that out, I feel like every game is live service.
A lot of them are growing to be, and it's kind of.
I get it, money business wise. I get it. Makes you more money. Throughout the life of the game.
Who doesn't love money?
Yeah, but it is destroyed. Yeah, I agree with that.
By the same token, like we're also a nation that seems to be growing more towards like, hey, let's just eat the millionaires. So why would you support it? I guess is my question. You know what I mean? Like that's it's a weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it. Whatever. Last point I'll make is that the whole concept of owning stuff is being called into question, and I'm not a fan of it. So when Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch 2, I believe, I don't know the exact quote, but it was discussed that like, hey, you don't own the console, you just bought a license to play it, essentially. So if you do any modding to it, right to brick it, and we can, so long as you're connected to the internet, we can actually connect to your thing and just brick your entire console.
Yeah.
So there's an issue there, in my opinion, because if we're paying X amount of money, I don't care how much. I don't care if you bought a Nintendo Switch for $5. I don't care if you bought it for $1,000. The fact that you bought it, in my eyes, means that you own it. That is yours. You can do with it what you want. You know what I mean? Like that. That's ownership. That's ownership through and through. Is you pay for a good and you get then it's yours. You're free to do with it what you will. And I think a lot of people, like this push for that kind of began with digital games. How it was like, hey, buy it digitally. You don't have to worry about putting a disc in and all that stuff. The convenience of it is kind of what helped call into question the whole idea of owning something, which, because and this is the long and short of it is, you buy something digital, and let's say you're done playing it, and you uninstall it. If for any reason the license on that game expires, the store that you bought it from goes down, or you just somehow lose the files, like you know what I mean? And it just disappears, you don't have that game. You spent money and you have nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? So you don't own it because it can be taken away.
Yeah.
So it not that I'm saying it needs to be gone. Like I have no problem with digital game. I have an Xbox X, like digital. You know what I mean? Like it's a digital console. I know that. I understand that. I just think it's companies are taking stuff too far in terms of the whole Nintendo situation.
Right.
If we don't own it, then piracy is no longer theft. Do you understand? You know what I mean? Like that's because we're paying money and you're not giving us it. We don't get to own it according to you. So who cares if we just steal it? If we steal it, there's nothing. It's not hurting anybody because you're just losing money and you're shit about you. You know what I mean?
So I would say, console wise, by us not owning it, right? Let's go to like my take on that. You don't own the console. I'm okay with, you technically don't own the console. You own, I view it as you own the hardware. Okay. However, you can modify it. That's cool. 99% of people play games online, right?
Right.
So by you modifying the console, it can affect somebody else's experience when you play online, because you can mod the console to be better than, like, run better essentially than the person playing. So I get it in that point of things where, like, hey, you have a modded console, no, you can't play online. I don't think it's cool that you can't play it at all. I think that if you're playing single player games, who gives a fuck, right? So I do see where, like, they do it because then you can you're kind of not letting the game give you the experience it's intended. So I could see where they're trying to control that. But also, if it's a single player game, who cares? Right. So that's my take on the console part. As far as you saying like, hey, you don't own the game, that I do have a problem with. Now, I don't view it as this because I have more of a problem with the license part of it because you bought it when the license was good. So it's no different if I went and bought a game and the license expires. Well, I have the hard copy, so I can still play it. You know, there's no difference in that point, so it doesn't matter. But I think that digitally, if I have this game, excuse me, next gen comes out, they don't make it on next gen. Okay, well, I can't play unless I have the old console. I get that. So like, I don't necessarily view like if I can't buy it on the next gen, like you don't own it, I guess. But like, I don't know. Like I understand. I think the gaming part, like the games side of it, it does need to. That's not cool. And if that's what it is, then you can't be making the games cost what they cost.
100%.
Because if I'm not owning it, well then I'm leasing it, and you know, I shouldn't have to. But yet again, maybe that's also why game prices hadn't increased for how many years. You know, maybe it was because they started supplementing that thought process with, well, we'll keep the game prices the same because prices technically have went up. You're just not owning it now. But if that's the case, tell us about it. Tell us, be real, be transparent, be transparent with us of what we're buying. And don't say you're purchasing this game. Say you're leasing this game.
Right.
You know,
don't give the idea of ownership and then taking it
away.
Right.
So that's where I say I think consoles. I am okay with it if you're modding it and then playing it online.
It depends on, I guess, on the intention. Like, because I know a lot of people bought like the Wii, right? Because you could when you modded that, you could literally like add like Nintendo games, GameCube games, Game Boy games.
Right.
Excuse me. You could add all that stuff to it, and like, that's from the single player perspective, I suppose. Because like, if you mod it and you do that, you're probably not playing online.
Right.
You know what I mean, like you are strictly just trying to gain access to more single player games.
Right. Maybe, so, but probably, but yeah, and I think that the issue lies is they can't control. Like they like, how would they be able to be like, this console's modded, they're using it for this. This console's modded, they're using it for this only. So this one's okay, this one's not. Like I think it's too hard, or would be too time consuming. So that's why they make it all in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like I said, I'm okay with that. Because if you're like, I'm very do what you want until it affects others negatively.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think people should live life. Unfortunately, it's not, but it is what it is. With that being said, I'm okay with the console because of that. But video games, listen, dude, you just bought the game. Right. You know, there's no reason that if I want to play it 10 years from now and I still have the console, that I should not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, but that's also why I buy the games that I love. I do buy hard copies.
Right.
You know, so, yeah, whatever. But okay. Well, you got any other hot takes or?
No, that's my last one.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna die on the Mass Effect 3 thing. I'll die on that hill, dude. Also, Call of Duty players, it's okay. Like I said, be true to yourself.
It's a burden to bear, buddy.
Be true to yourself.
Everybody's got a burden. Everybody's got a cross. They all bear it.
That's true. Okay, so we already did the what makes red red. Nintendo sales are bullshit.
They are, dude. They fucking are. Yeah.
And we've given a shout out, like I said earlier, Jonathan Caps. Oh, actually, before we get into this, he did leave one other comment. Let me see. And it was when we were talking about, I forget what game it was. Last of Us, I think it was. He said that he loved the Last of Us games, probably the best games he's played in a while. He loved the whole concept. He did say he jumped from PS3 to PS5. So with that being said, do you have, and I want to ask you this, for him, do you have any games for him making that jump that he should play if he loved The Last of Us? On current gen. I know he asked that he also liked the Watch Dogs. He did say on one of our posts, it wasn't this video. It was one of our posts earlier this week too. He asked you if you played Watch Dogs before. I said I had not, but so we I'm assuming if he was asking about that, he liked The Last of Us. He's more into like the AAA titles. So are there any games that kind of fit those molds that you would say, hey, I recommend this?
So, if we're going, so I'm assuming he said he loved The Last of Us.
That's what he said. He said he loved it, loved the whole concept, everything about it.
Loved the whole concept. Okay, so if you're one zombie, like and you jump from PS3 to PS5, man, for zombie, I would say, hey, check out Days Gone Remastered. Because that recently came out, I believe, and it's not a great story, but it's a decent shooter, I think.
Okay.
Story wise, if you're looking for games with like good story, like The Last of Us has, can't go wrong with God of War. I would tell you to check out Spider-Man, but maybe not, because like The Last of Us is really heavy in terms of its story. So is God of War. Spider-Man's kind of like it's a little heavy towards the end, but it's super like, it made me cry, but I'm a pussy. So
I still gotta play the Spider-Mans, dude.
I would also say, man, zombie wise, like the Resident Evil remakes, I think 2 and 4 specifically. I didn't care for 3 just because you're being constantly chased by something, and I don't care for that. But 2 and 4, really good. Highly recommend those. Man, you made the jump from PS3 to PS4. What else have you missed?
PS3 to PS5.
PS3 to PS5. Sorry.
Yeah.
What have you missed?
See, I can't think of anything because I'm on my PlayStation, dude, it's really just Madden. I mean, Ghost of the Ghost. Well, that doesn't really stay in tune with it though.
Ghost of Tsushima's good though.
I mean, if he's looking for good story, Ghost of Tsushima, yeah.
And solid gameplay, honestly. Like
that's, yeah, the dueling in that was awesome.
And it's got a similar stealth mechanic, I think, to The Last of Us, where you kind of crouch down and hide in weeds and shit. That's
I think they tried to mimic more Assassin's Creed on that.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, Horizon. I mean, that's a decent game. The Horizon Zero Dawn series. That's all. That's all right.
But I guess you've given them some, unless you have one more.
Well, I'm trying to think of like, man, what was an absolute banger on the PS4 that's available on the PS5? I guess that's backwards compatible, but still.
Yeah, I don't know.
What you don't think of anything, or?
No, because like when the PS4 was out, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, PS4 was out, I was strictly multiplayer. That's because when we were in college, I didn't really have time to sit down and do a story. It was like, oh, I'm gonna play an hour or two with my buddies. PS5 now, because I have the PC, I don't really have a need to play. I mean, Madden, but now even that's on PC. But I enjoy sitting on my couch playing.
Right.
So yeah, I don't have anything. I guess if we're like out of the ones you said, I mean, if he liked Watch Dogs, he could always try Red Dead Redemption. And I say that because yes, it's like total, like one's technology, the other's not. But aren't they both made by Rockstar?
No.
Watch
Dogs is made by Ubisoft, buddy.
Oh shit! Well, I fucked up there, and I'm a Ubisoft.
If he hasn't played Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs 2 is I think pretty decent. They have Watch Dogs Legion, I guess. I don't know how good that one was though. I didn't play that one.
I didn't play any of them, dude. I was told the first one was bad, so I just didn't play it.
Watch Dogs 2 is really good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. But I guess you gave him options. You gave him options.
I threw out a couple. Yeah.
So, Jonathan, if you're listening right now, man, there's some suggestions for you. Now, before we kind of roll out for the end of this episode, which is actually episode 9, dude. Kind of crazy.
God.
And that's not including all the other stuff we've done. So we're trying. Um,
I about made a really bad comment. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. So.
Oh, okay.
It would have been inappropriate. I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gotta. Well, if this ever becomes full time, then we can say whatever we want. Right now, I gotta keep my job.
Right.
Yeah. Biggie, what is Biggie's big back food? What are we doing this week?
We got a banger for you today. It's the Selena Gomez Oreos.
Oh shit! I've been seeing these, dude. Are they different? Now this is dumb, right? I don't eat or I main the normal Oreos.
Yeah.
When they're coming out these special.
Hold on. Did you just say you main?
I main them, dude. I main them. They're like my number. Yeah, they're my number one. Like this is my primary.
This is like your 48 or HD4. Is that what it's called?
The HDR. First off,
HDR.
And no, I used to use the AX50, and they don't have it now. So, anyways, are these like different flavored Oreos?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are. I'm gonna read this off the package. These are Selena's chocolate and cinnamon cream cookies.
Ooh, so creamy.
Now, I'm not gonna say that. That's inappropriate. Never mind. I'm sorry. Now, I haven't tried these.
Hold on. What Biggie's saying is get us to full time guys so we can say what we want to say.
Dude, that smells so good.
Does it? I mean, they look like a different color. Are they different colored?
I mean,
well, I should be asking that 2025. But
you still got the white cream, but then on the other side, it's.
I mean, it's always a white cream, brother. If it's not, go get checked.
Who doesn't love white cream? But no, it's got like a really good cinnamon smell to it.
Okay.
Like cinnamon and chocolate. And it's nice.
See, I'm not a cinnamon guy, so I don't know if I'd like these.
You want to do the cinnamon challenge with me?
Oh, that'd be good for the views.
We die.
I tell you what. We can if we can get to like, we'll say 100 followers, we can do the cinnamon challenge live on stream.
Okay. But yeah, so this is my first time trying it, so you're gonna get a live react.
Yay, nay. They look okay. Your reaction tells me they're all right. They're nothing spectacular.
I was hoping for like more cinnamon. You know what I mean?
So they're okay.
They're solid. I mean, I wouldn't say no to them if they were offered to me, but like I'd go with the Post Malone ones before I went with these.
See, I didn't know. See, now I feel awful not getting the Post Malones because I thought they were just normal Oreos and they're just marketing.
They were caramel. They were like a caramel cream, and it was so good. It was so fucking good, dude.
Damn, dude.
They're not bad. I mean,
now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry, dude.
If you see them, try them. But like, I wouldn't buy more than one bag of them. Or one package of them. I'd be like, one and done.
See, like I said, the normals, dude.
Fuck, I hate Oreos.
Oh, dude, I love Oreos, dude. They're probably the one name brand thing where I'm like, those are like for a reason. So, okay, Biggie's Big Back Food Back, Selena Gomez. What would you rate it? 1 out of 10.
7.
Really? Okay. I mean, I guess that's to me that's bad for an Oreo, but yeah.
I mean, but that's I mean,
it's bad for an Oreo, man.
Average is 5, right? So like, it's a little above average.
Yeah.
The cinnamon's nice, but I expected more. Not honestly, there's not enough cream. But you know what? Milk's favorite cookie. If you put some milk with this, it'd probably be pretty decent.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be curious to see maybe what it would taste like in like a pudding, like a cinnamon dirt. That's what it might remind me of. So
I bet that'd be good. But
7.5, whatever.
So you heard it there. Biggie's review on this Selena Gomez Oreo cookie is a 7 out of 10. Damn, dude. Episode 9, hour and a half almost.
In the bag.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. For those of you still watching, we appreciate you. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you guys helping us grow our community each and every day. You got any videos in the works for this week? No, yes. I'm not really sure. I'm not remembering. Got CTE.
So, oh my god.
Oh, I bet that tasted awful. Baja with fucking Oreo.
Baja with cinnamon.
Whew.
That's cinnamony.
Also cinnamony?
I'm trying to do some streaming. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
That's right.
That's my main focus. I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna shoot for like twice a week.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. When I get a schedule figured out, I'll post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plan is to stream.
Are you streaming YouTube and then go from there? Or are you gonna try to stream on Facebook? Because
I was stream on Twitch.
Twitch, okay. I
would
would recommend probably YouTube or I would recommend somewhere that we already have followers. So then that way we're growing that, because then that's just a whole nother page that we gotta.
Okay.
Yeah, I think eventually, sure, like but I think for now maybe. Where we have
followers. Like you want me to stream it through our channel then, or
I would recommend it since you're doing that.
Okay, I can do that then.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully doing some streaming. That's
got a game
plan.
Have you picked a game?
Dude, I was gonna stream some Borderlands 2 just so I can. It's a way for me to do the retrospective stuff while also getting more out of it. Like, because showing what I showed for the first video, it was like literally the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a stream where I get to talk about it and like give an opportunity for people to comment while the game is going. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I could be like, hey, like, I really enjoyed this aspect. This is a slog. I love this. Hate. I wish they had changed this. Here's some trivia you guys didn't know or something. While all showing them like, hey, no, it's a solid game. Right. It's worth getting into. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hell yeah, dude. I'll be trying to watch.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to stream tonight.
Okay. Maybe when you start doing this on schedule, because you're on a different shift, and I know a lot of ours are first shifters right now. So maybe weekend make it a little more early so we can get people, and then at nighttime you can try to snatch some at night.
Yeah, I mean, dude, work is. I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah. I bet. Oh, no, yeah. I saw, dude. Sometimes we need to grow. People need to understand. They need to get on Discord, dude, because you can see some good ass crash outs coming in from people.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Oh
yeah.
Man, but
yeah.
Anyways, though, so you got streaming coming out for the channel.
Yeah. What about you? What do you got? You said you got that pools review.
I'm working on the pools review. I was gonna do a playthrough of it, but then I was on Discord with Marissa, and so you can hear hear her talking. I didn't have my audio or anything set up, so so I'll just do a review on that. And then I will be posting on our channel. I'll be doing another try video. We have the Campbell's Ghost Pepper Soup, so we'll see how bad my butthole.
That sounds pretty fire.
The camera's like, But yeah, so that's what we got planned. I don't know. More Funkos. We gotta post some Funkos. And then I know we're gonna thank the people that joined last week. So, we just mentioned the one, Jonathan Caps. Thank you. Appreciate you. But unless you have anything else, I think this is a good time to say, check us on our other socials. We love you guys. Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. And until next time, next one's episode 10. So
big 1-0.
Yeah, we'll have to think of something. Maybe talk about VR. Maybe.
Ooh yeah, talk about VR and how useless it is.
Yeah. Rich people product. But anyways, as always, I'm Red.
I'm Biggie.
And talk to you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.